So we are live on Zoom, and we'll be starting in another 2 more minutes. So good afternoon, all the attendees. We have Padma Shri Dr. R.C. Sobti with us, and we also have Professor P.K. Khosla. Give us a couple of minutes, and 3:30 we will start sharp. And if you can go live on YouTube also, I'll appreciate that. So Dr. Sobti, which part of the world are you today? Are you in Chandigarh?
I'm in Chandigarh.
So how's the weather in Chandigarh now, and how do you feel with all the corona and COVID?
That's okay. We stay at home and work at home.
I think as a professor, it doesn't matter whether COVID or no COVID. You know, you're always.
It doesn't matter to us because we have to work.
Absolutely.
And we are working. कुछ आप लोग काम में लगा देते हो.
So how are you feeling, Dr. Costa, today? How's your?
Yeah, mine was a busy day. I had 2 meetings, one with the senior faculty every alternate day from 10:30 to 11:30. What stretches up to 12, another half an hour. And after that, I had another meeting with the faculty. There was some case which we had to discuss. Now everything is on Zoom or webinar. I don't call people to my office. And now this is the third meeting. They're sitting here.
You know, it's so beautiful. You know how online has taken over. We can have.
Yeah, it has. I was also busy with Himachal Pradesh in the morning. There is a meeting of the skill program of a DBT, your science council, and one of your colleagues was there in that meeting. And in fact, your university was appreciated there.
Thank you so much.
Because you have registered 20 students against 15, and people have registered 2, 3, 9, like that. Okay. So secretary was really appreciating.
Who was the secretary?
Your naam bhul gaya.
I'm going to intervene. Sorry, Dr. Khosla. I think we are reaching time. I'm going to request Kamal to tell us whether we're getting on YouTube or should we start, Kamal?
I'm trying, sir. So again, it is stuck like. So we can start properly.
So it's 3:31 and it's time to start. If you allow me, Dr. Sobti, can we start?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. So good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, teachers. Welcome to Ideas That Matter. Welcome to the series of webinars by Shulini University. We are truly honored today. Today is a very, very big day for us. We have Padma Shri Dr. R.C. Sobti with us today, along with Dr. P.K. Khosla, who's a Vice Chancellor. Quickly, Dr. R.C. Sobti, of course, I call him uncle outside formal situation,
okay.
A very dear family friend. But most importantly for all of you, he is the ex-Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, the very famous Punjab University. He is one of the world's leading biotechnologists. And he also, as I said, a Padma Shri and someone that probably all of you will be inspired by. And we're so lucky to have him with us. We also have Dr. P.K. Khosla, our Vice Chancellor, with us today. He's the Vice Chancellor of Shulini University. He's Oxford educated and started Shulini around 10 years back and drives Shulini personally and would love to speak to you. The format for the day would be, I will request Dr. Sobti to take around 7 to 8 minutes, taking our students through his learnings of science, building a career in science, and also what does a good institution mean? What should a university provide to a student? And then I will request Dr. Khosla to take another 7 to 8 minutes, and we will then get into a discussion. So please put your questions and answers and queries on chat. We'll be delighted to answer all of them. Quick introduction to me. My name is Atul Khosla. I am the Pro-Vice Chancellor at Shulini University, Kasauli Hills, Himachal Pradesh. I'm a BTech from IIT Kanpur and then did my MBA. Spent 20 years in the industry, 7 different countries, 35 different cities. And then the teaching bug hit me thanks to uncles like Dr. Sobti. And I'm so delighted to be a teacher now. So I won't take more time. I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Sobti for his very, very inspiring talk. Dr. Sobti, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Atul. And Dr. Khosla, in fact, I had made a presentation for about 40 minutes. We are giving only 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay,
fine.
you can take 15 minutes, Dr. Sopti.
That doesn't matter. In fact, my topic today is, can you see the presentation?
We can't see it as yet. I think you'll have to share it.
Not, you have to switch on that one.
You'll have to share the screen, Dr.
Yeah, I
Sopti.
have shared it.
That's not coming as yet for us.
Mhm.
So if you, let's not come. Dr. Khosla, is it me or can you see the
You
presentation?
have to share from there itself.
So who has the presentation? Do we have it or do you have it?
No, no, sir has it. He was able to show it when we started. I believe that time it was showing. So
Yeah.
I think he has to share the screen.
I sure.
So can you pull up the presentation, Dr. Sopti? Pull it on first before, just switch off the screen first. If you can stop the screen sharing, then pull up the presentation
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
and then share the screen and then it should come.
Okay, even then I can stop. Try.
Okay. Can you email it to, Dr. Khosla's email address?
It's a difficult at the moment. Okay.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead? Why don't you go ahead, Dr. Sopti? Sorry for
Yeah.
this.
In
Sorry for
fact,
the-
you were talking about the careers in science. Basically, in the recent years, the trend has changed. And I'm going to talk about is emerging technologies in science and the career therein. In fact, we are belonging to a scientific community, not for today, for last 5,000 years or so, because our forefathers were all scientists. Whatever system was, we were scientists, and our culture was purely scientific, our rituals were scientific, and the basic purpose was to serve the creator through service of man, and we were nature friendly. All our rituals, festivals are nature friendly, and we are spreading knowledge to the whole of the world. And this is what basically our ancient India discovered so many things based on the innovations. Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta, Bhaskara, so many innovations took place in mathematics, in physics, in chemistry, and particularly in medicine. And we were in the agricultural society and we're filling the tummy of everybody, but with the increasing population, it couldn't be done. So industrial society came, the information society, and today we are in the knowledge society, where knowledge products are taking care of our whole things, and our mindset is towards that one. When we talk about a career, in fact, as soon as a student is in a class 12 standard, start thinking over career options, course to be adopted after 12th standard. And among these courses, people ask that which one I should take, which will give me a job. Basically, everybody wants a ready-made job after he gets a degree. And nobody thinks that what actually should be done. And in that case, in the recent years, biotechnology has gained this importance right at the undergraduate level, and they learn this scientific knowledge and the PG level scientific tools, application for the PhD, whether it's a pharmacy, environment, agriculture, industry. And there's a big question right at the undergraduate level that what should I take up? But real excitement in science are not just getting a job, is enjoying. How you enjoy, that's the first way to make observation, thinking, innovating, performing, and then you choose where you want to go. But never think that money will give you happiness. Money may not give you happiness. If you perform and you do something new, something innovative, then that gives a major happiness. And it is as a product of these things, this thinking, innovation, a lot many technologies have come up to serve the society, to meet the challenges of the society. And There had been technology competitions and awards, and also some role has been played by science fiction. Many of the things which were thought to be a science fiction have come out to be true in a scientific way. And we know that emerging technologies are whose development practical application both are still largely unrealized. We have developed, there may not be practical importance. We may have to go back to alter that development to so that it becomes of practical importance and such that they are figuratively emerging into prominence from a background non-existence or obscurity. No doubt these technologies are new, such a very applications of even biotechnology if we talk about, because I'll concentrate more on biotechnology, and that's including gene therapy, which we call today. Emerging technologies are often perceived as capable of changing the status quo, because the term which we used to use in India, chalta hai, but that chalta hai will not match the what we call today the emerging technologies. Now, these emerging technologies which we call today are characterized by radical novelty, relatively fast growth, coherence, prominent impact, and uncertainty and ambiguity. Uncertainty and ambiguity are a part and parcel of emerging technology which may or may not work, and we have to constantly work on that. Or in other words, emerging technology can be defined radically novel, fast growing, as I told you, and coherent, which observed in terms of composition of actors. I call all the scientists, all the thinkers as actors, and institutions and patterns of interaction, such as your Shulni Institute. The actor is Professor Khosla, Atul Khosla, and of course your mom is also an actor. She had played a best role in the creation of this university, and your relatives in USA. And that institute which you have created, the pattern of interaction you have, right now Dr. Khosla was telling that you have every day you interact with your colleagues, and that is what is required, and that will lead to the production of a new knowledge, which is very important. Its most prominent impact, however, lies in the future. How is our thinking, is our technology is useful in the future? We can't talk about today itself. We have to be futuristic, and the technology which we develop, it has to be futuristic, and so in the emerging phase, still somewhat uncertain. Now, some of the technology which have come up in these days, even the education technology, which is fast changing so fast, especially in the last 3 months. And I'm happy that Dr. Khosla is telling that you have very strong now technology where you can teach online, you can conduct exams online, and I'm happy to know that you have declared the result today. Then information technology, nanotechnology, biotechnology, cognitive science, psychotechnology, robotics, artificial intelligence. But are they separate? The question is they are not. All of them are interacting with each other. They're resulting in the integrated technology, which is trying to solve our problems. Where the education technology, information cannot go without education technology. Even nanotechnology is a part of that. Biotechnology cannot work without nanotechnology now. And you have to have the cognitive science if you work with a human being. Psychotechnology, then of course, robotics is playing a bigger role. And especially, you know that in the COVID-19, how important robotics has come in the hospitals. It started from China, and now it is in the Indian hospitals also. It is not, and of course, artificial intelligence is an integral part of that one. Basically, there is a new technology field may be result from what we call technological convergence. It's a convergence of different systems involving towards a similar goals. What is a similar goal in our case? Our goal is to meet the challenges which a life system is going to have, or is having, or will have in future. That's the goal. So all these technologies are converging into that to how to take care of the challenges which are today or which will be tomorrow. So convergence brings previously separate technologies such as say voice, which is telephony features, data, productivity applications, and video together so that they can share resources and interact with each other, creating, and this presentation itself is a convergence of technology of voice, data, and video together. And, then innovation and technology go side by side. Also, innovative methods and new technologies are developed and open up some of these technologies due to theoretical research. Of course, thinking. Thinking is very important. If Mendel was successful because he could think over. Darwin was successful because he could think over. Most of the, even Newton thought over it, and that's how he could give law. And for commercial research and development. And the emerging technology which we are talking biotechnology, particularly 3D printing, gene therapy, cancer vaccine, and of course in vitro meat without using any animal, you can enjoy the taste of a meat. Of course, stem cell therapy and distributed ledger technology, they are part of that one. And there are rapid changes in the technology, such as the DNA sequencing, genome editing, synthetic biology, what we call today synthetic biology, are driving new products in agriculture, medical sciences, pharmaceutical products, nanobiotechnology, genetic engineering, and traditionally important theme, now what we are metabolic engineering, which is taking over all the areas of the biotechnology, the most important research topics, and especially from 2017 onward, where we are talking nanoparticles, nanotechnology, contemporary trending biotechnology research themes. And this metabolic engineering is an integral part of now genetics. And what is the horizons for biotechnology? Now, what we have in vitro physiology models, the wonderful word of non-Cas9 nucleases, exotic microbial production hosts, therapeutic biomanufacturing, synthetic genomes and cells. We don't have to work on the human being as such. We don't have to take out the genome. We can make synthetic genome. Even cells can be made to understand the life processes. Then cell-free biosynthesis, miniaturized bioreactors, bionic organisms. Now, physiology on a chip we have, I'll just pass on hurriedly, and then wherein you can on a chip, you can on this tabletop, you can have a chip of the heart functioning, bone functioning, kidney functioning, and you can study all the phenomena. For example, the contractile production you can study on a chip, or a transport clearance from kidney you can study on a chip. So what we call physiology chips are coming up. Similarly, inflammation chips have come up, that how neutrophils initiate inflammation during a process called swarming, and as a point of care detection. And then we have a therapeutic biomanufacturing. The production of therapeutic proteins and even cells is nothing new, but the recent energy in this field is turning the lab scale production platform into practically useful strategies for treating diseases. That is what is done. Install platform right at the point of medical need. Wherever you need, you install that platform, a protein will be produced right over there and supplied to that very place so that your disease is treated or your deficiency is taken care of. And there are many drawbacks, and I'm not going to talk about that at the moment. And then we have under CAR T cells, induced pluripotent cells, exosomes, other biological reorganized cell scale, and contrary strenuous efforts are being made. And a very important thing which has come up nowadays is a CRISPR. The CRISPR technology, or a CRISPR Cas9, utilizes a protein called Cas9, which is helping us in gene editing, DNA editing, gene function, on, of course, a part of the genetic engineering. And this is also playing an important role in the HIV research, cancer research, and correcting genetic defects, treating diseases, preventing spread of disease, improving crops and more. But the science of altering genome has many ethical concerns, which I'm not going to refer to that. Even COVID-19, people think that they may be able to do something with the CRISPR-Cas9 system. In fact, I had all these slides. Which one? Even the genome of the past food crops, the cyanobacteria, other industry relevant microorganisms, tumor cells more, have been edited by CRISPR-Cas system. It's a very comprehensive system, and people are adopting this technology uh, for solving various problems. For example, in genomic engineering, editing, we have a chromosome rearrangement, precise changes, indel mutations, RNA editing, epigenetic modifications, activation, etc. Even ecological engineering, new plant genome is being developed by this one. And now we are making a synthetic genomes and even cells to look at the functioning, what we call metabolic engineering on this slide itself. And people are designing it, building it up, and then testing using. We know we had a yeast chromosome more, bacterial chromosome more, but now the eukaryotic genomes functioning is being made by these, or even cells are being made by this one. And the synthetic genomes and cells, what we call, progress toward that over the past decades, and it's improving. And even cell-free biosynthesis is being made in the test tube, wherein RNA, DNA are mixed together, and then transcription takes place, transduction takes place in the test tube itself, and what we call cell-free biosynthesis. And even miniaturized bioreactors are being formed so that you don't have to go for a bigger bioreactors, what we call microfluidic fabrication capability of that one. And then even bionic organisms are being made to check their working, their functioning, what we call a cyborg, which sound like a state of science fiction, but it's not a science fiction. People are making now bionic organism, bionic mushroom has been made, but the yeast has been made, and of course, much is being done on stem cell research, and we are having a lot of hope that we will be able to treat many of the diseases by these, even what we call diabetes, Parkinson's disease, and even a cancer. We may find an answer to cancer. And of course, the Human Genome Project has given us a lot of insight into various diseases, and also how we can do gene therapy for that one. And then another important thing what happened in surgery, 3D visualization and augmented reality of a surgery, that you can see, have a 3D image of the body itself, and the surgeon will know where to do the microsurgery instead of doing a macro surgery over there. And they allow each organ to be precisely projected so the surgeon can make small targeted incision to minimize body trauma for that one. And of course, we know that various vaccines are being formed. One of the vaccine which has come into limelight in the couple of years is a human papillomavirus vaccine, which we know that 99% of women have a HPV infection. Of course, cervical cancer is caused only in a few one because of the immune system. But people are trying to work on the HPV vaccine so that you can prevent the cervical cancer. Of course, now we know that even oral cancer is caused by HPV vaccine. Even it plays a role in the esophageal cancer over there. Then another what he has taken place, face transplants. A face transplant process using skin graft to replace all or part of the patient's face with a donor's face. And you can change that face, and people are very interested in that one. The first partial face transplant was performed in Amiens, France, 2005. Next sexual transplant was performed 5 years later in Spain. This is also the first ever full face transplant. And the Sushita gave us a plastic surgery, but it for the nose repair, and now it has gone up to the total face transplant. And even now, you can have a 3D printing organs. You just program the computer, the printer, computer, and it will give you the 3D liver, and even tracheas have already been produced, and other organs are being tried with that one. We knew that the nerves do not regenerate, but now it can be done. Nowadays, of neurodegenerative diseases, spinal cord injury has largely been considered irreversible. But now we know that regeneration can be done by using certain hormones or the thing, neurotrophins or proteins that promote the development of neurons, small molecule chains that work, and Another is a nanotransfection. New science may have the ability to heal people with a single touch. Sound too good to be true, and science fiction, it's not. Tissue nanotransfection works by injecting genetic code into skin cells, which turns those skin cells into the other type of cells required for treating cells. And then those, because there's no problem with vivisection, we are working on the autologous cells of the skin itself. And that skin cell it can be transplanted or transported to the affected organ. Some one touch TNT completely repaired the injured legs of mice over a period of few weeks by turning skin cell into vascular cell. And reportedly, this biotech can work on other types of tissue kinesis also. And we know that gene therapy is being tried for various things. Of course, the routine DNA recovered DNA technology is working for biopharmaceutical, diagnostic, energy application like biofuels, agricultural biotechnology, and one of the most important is genetic testing from 23andMe. Genetic ancestry kits are popular these days because now what we call Evo-Devo technology. The biotechnology is not limited to bioscience only. Even anthropology, even geography, geology are becoming a part of that one. And genetic ancestry kits are popular these days that you want to have your know your ancestry. You use that kit and you can do that. Beneficial for more than just helping people understand genetics and heritage. A new study is showing that these saliva kits are able to test for things like breast cancer by looking at gene mutations. Certain races are more likely to inherit certain mutations of human diseases, and knowing races make up your genetic material can help you be prepared that you have such a genetic makeup and you may develop this disease from that one. And while 23andMe test results should not be reason to make decisions about treatment, understanding your heritage and how that would impact your health is valuable, and that is the importance of this very 23andMe. Of course, one of the very important development which has taken place and which is being encouraged, brain signals to audible speech. You know that it's a big problem. So this device that can translate brain signals to audible speech using a voice synthesizer is being created. This would serve as an incredible tool in communicating with individuals paralyzed with a disease or traumatic injury. These devices are epileptic patients to isolate the source of their seizures. So now what we can do? So many technologies are coming up, so many are in pipeline. What has to do? India is uniquely positioned to harness the technological potential of capacities, including availability of strong pool of scientists and engineers, large reservoirs of scientific human resources, affordable manufacturing capacities, and numerous medical colleges, educational training institutions providing diplomas and degrees in technological courses, particularly biotechnology, such as your own institute, Shulni Institute, a large number of national research laboratories, thousands of scientists, fast developing clinical capabilities, and a vibrant drug and pharmaceutical industry. And we know that all these technology can solve our medical problems, agricultural problems, and environmental problems by giving all the input. So what should we do? Our children should be taught in such a way that they should become innovative. They should not just look for a degree. Degree may not work, but let them think. The thinking process has to be inducted in them. I know your campus beautiful. You have made such a platform. A student can sit there and watch the nature, talk between themselves, and they can develop their project themselves. Let them do their project their own. They should not follow that, like in our times, we used to go to a supervisor, ask we have a project, de dijiye. That's not the case. Now the time has come. We have to impress upon the student to sit for an hour in the nature and think how the insects are moving, how the insects are working, how the insects are saving, how the plants are saving. All those then we have to look at it. Then because better than the best clean, safe alternative fuel is also provided with biotechnology, which is going to be a big problem. You must have seen that how the diesel prices and petrol prices have increased in the last couple of days, and what we have to find out certain sources of biofuel. In India, biotechnology will remain in demand for next decade because India is a young country. We can we have a population which is equivalent to one of the small countries. Even UP is one of the small countries of the world, and so we have a large country, large population. It's a dividend, and youth is there. So biotech sector in countries growing at a compound annual rate of 20%. A target has been set to reach USD 100 billion by the end of next year. And India is counted among the top 12 biotech destinations in the world. When it is biotech, it doesn't mean only biotech. Biotech involves computational technology, mathematical modeling, engineering, all the even physics, chemistry, all the part of the biotech. Biotech is not only a bioscience, it's a convergence technological science, which I talked in the beginning, in the world and is the third largest Asia Pacific program. So, and we, in the period of pandemic COVID-19, biotechnology plays an important role in developing new diagnostic and therapeutics and finding the vaccine against coronavirus. Of course, vaccine may take time because we do not know which system will work. Yet people are trying to work on the spike protein, on the AC receptors, or the miRNA, and so many things are being worked. About 12 to 13 targets are there. Which one will be successful? But definitely it is going to become from the convergence technologies, which I talked to you. But the new diagnostics which are developed, fast developed diagnostic by the antigen antibody testing is a product of this research. And the Prime Minister has already given a stimulus package 20 lakh crore that will help biotech sector to grow and become. Don't take biotech as such, as I told you in the beginning. It's a complete technological sector, of course, centered around a biological material. And we have so many companies in the country which are working in this direction. So thank you very much for this. Some of the I've given you about the this one, but beautiful slides were there which I couldn't show, especially at the end. That back, how the backbenchers react when the teacher asks them to sit in the front bench, how they react, and then when my friend's reaction when I asked for an extra sheet in the exam, how my friends react to that one, and of course when a topper see that somebody from backbench asks a question, how his or her reaction will be. The beautiful slides I collected, somehow I missed it, and maybe next time when I may be there physically and do that. And you are the only as happy as you choose to be, and that chosen cannot be only degree. Chosen can be the how you can think, how you can innovate, and you can't depend on the job which is given to public sector. You have to create a job for yourself, especially in the, that India is so lucky that we have a Himachal Pradesh, we have a Uttarakhand, we have the Jharkhand, which are rich with the, what we call, even Kerala is a living lab. You may not go to the lab. Even sitting over there, you can choose your own profession and make the profession useful. People, I told you earlier when I talked about, even the termite mound, looking at termite mound, people have built the buildings. Or even the, this train, the fast train, what we call, forgotten the name, it was making too much noise when it will come out of the tunnel. And people looked at the kingfisher. That kingfisher goes from air to water. It doesn't make any splash. So people change that aerodynamic of that train. So it's just watching. So let's make our children, let's make our this generation and give it a chance to the next generation to be innovator. Let them select the career themselves. But that career should be challenging. Not the white collar job will not work. The job which is you are a part of the nature. You become a student of the nature. Now, of course, of the guides to Guru. Guru तो रहेगा क्योंकि हमारे जितने वो थी शिक्षा होती थी जाके जंगलों में होती थी, ऋषि देते थे, तो वो जंगल को वॉच करते थे, वहां से सीखते थे. वही चीज अब आनी है. आपकी तो यूनिवर्सिटी लकी है that Khosla Saab has done so wonders that he has really made what we call Guru Shiksha system over there, that you have a sitting, you have all the nature loving, and you can do anything with it. Thank you very much, Dr. Khosla, for giving up. I have taken a little more time, but luckily I couldn't show slides.
Thank you,
saved my time.
Dr. Sopti. We are so glad you took more time because this was so inspiring. I was getting goose pimples as you were talking, and I think we'll have to get you back again because we have to see all your presentations that you somehow couldn't show us. So I'm very keen to do that. So we'll love to get you back again. But I think the more important point that you made around biotechnology, I would like to mention over here to the faculty and students. I'm coming out of a meeting of a very high-powered meeting of CII, of pharma companies and life sciences companies, and the conclusion was that the future of medicine is biotechnology and not chemical companies or chemical compounds anymore. So there will be more of biotechnology and less of pharma in the traditional sense. That's what everyone concluded. And India has an advantage because of the biodiversity that we have, which you spoke about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Kerala to Jharkhand. तो हमारे पास तो वो भी है, संजीवनी बूटी भी थी. अब आप ही बच्चे ढूंढोगे, निकालोगे कहीं से अगर किसी को संजीवनी
Now
बूटी.
see how we are saving ourselves. We are saving with jadi booties only at the moment.
बिल्कुल.
Total Ayurveda is working.
Exactly. So I think we will, thank you very much, sir. We will be talking. I think there'll be questions and I'll be hosting that. So Dr. Khosla, over to you, but I would request not more than 7 to 8 minutes, please. And then
Sorry, I've taken
like
too
to
much
get into a discussion. I think dialogue is very important with the students. So please, over to you, Dr. Khosla.
Well, dear students, firstly, let me thank Dr. Sopti. He has given a very illustrious lecture on use of biology in combination with basic sciences to be the future of science careers. Coming back to science as careers, now I'm not going to reveal the things which he has taught. P.K. Khosla, I started my career from Punjab University, Chandigarh, did my PhD in 1968, my postdoc from Oxford, 72, 75. And then I taught at Punjab University, Chandigarh for some years, then shifted to Himachal in applied science of forestry. So forestry is also a career with dear students in science. So I was a basic botanist, and that time I shifted. And then made my career in science, forestry, became vice chancellor, became advisor, and thought of entering into private education. And today we have a university of biotechnology and management sciences. Now about careers. What are the careers? Careers are the common for whatever you study. You may study social sciences, you may study physical sciences, applied sciences. There are 3-4 careers one can count. One is that you can be a teacher, you can be a researcher, you can be a entrepreneur, and you can go to the corporate sector, and you can be a manager. So these are the opportunities, these are the careers defined. But now these things are overlapping. In yesteryears, as Dr. Sopti was telling, he was talking about the modern sciences, and he didn't talk about the basic sciences. But in your mind, in your parents' mind, there is chemistry, physics, botany, zoology, geology, anthropology, and basic sciences, then agriculture, environmental sciences, animal husbandry, or there are other subjects like mechanical engineering, civil engineering. But dear students, these boundaries are getting broken. People have to overlap. These are man-made boundaries. Nobody made these boundaries. There is very little thin line to divide between chemistry and physics. Those persons like Newton or others, they were not assigned to any subject. they were studying the nature as he told, and they were finding whether they were in biology, chemistry, or physics. So first you think what you want to be. A teacher? When the question is, if you have to become a teacher, then why not be a university teacher? This is what I thought. I wanted to be a teacher in school. So I thought I would be a teacher like my teachers. When I came to university college, I thought I will become a college professor. Because in the college, they call them the professor. When I went, I had to do my master's for that. When I went to my first at Amritsar, then I came to Chandigarh for my bachelor's in honors in science. Oh, there were professors, there were readers, there were lecturers, and I found there is a serenity. And if I had to be a teacher, why not in the university? मुझे पता लगा I have to do my PhD. So I did my PhD and became a teacher. But teaching and science are interwoven at the university level. In American universities or the British universities, even in the colleges, research is done. It is only in India there is the luxury of to teach 2 hours of class or 3 hours of class and you are free. But the scientists, the teachers in the university, they make their career. I just recall. What is the charm of a university job? I remember, I recall when my first paper was published in 1972 in a very reputed journal of forestry or Sylvogenetica. I jumped. The aroma of that is still in my mouth. I can enjoy it. You see, I was with Dr. Y.S. Parmar. I had gone as a university component on a world tour with him. In 1975, we were in Berkeley University. There was a professor sitting on one side, 3 of the dignitaries on the chair. We were the backbenchers behind them standing. There was one book lying, Advances of Forest Genetics. I picked that book and opened the chapter where the author has cited Khosla in 1968. Look at the happiness I got. I showed that to Dr. Parmar. It came because of the science. It's got only science can give you. Because these are the jobs where you leave your name. अपने मन से पूछो मैंने क्या करना है? क्या आप इस देश में नोबेल लॉरिएट्स आफ्टर प्रोफेसर रमन इस धरती से from India only one Nobel laureate has come from the Indian labs, that is our Professor Raman, and that work was on scattering of light. That was 1930. आज 90 साल हो गए हैं, after 90 years no Nobel laureate has come. Why can't you think so? Dr. Kalam used to say, if you have to dream high, think that you will be a Nobel laureate if you have to study science. Science is beautiful. In yesteryears, it was considered very poor because they were low paid. Even now it is not that. They are not low paid. They are getting the same salary as you get in the IAS or you get in the engineers, their counterparts, or the medicine doctors come. Your career should be what you want to be. In the career, then there are choices. You want to go to teaching, or you, after doing your PhD, you want to go for research in a corporate sector, or you want to go for a managerial job, or you want to become an entrepreneur, or you can do your MBA and then go for a job. It all depends what you want to be. That is the first thing that I will talk. Now, the future of science is going to change. That is the second point which I want to stress here, which indirectly, repeatedly, had been also been illustrated by Dr. Soti. He was talking all the sciences. Biology will be the central seat, I can tell you. All other sciences will be coming to help it. When it goes with the physics, it will be the biophysics. When it goes with the chemistry, it's the biochemistry. When it goes with the information technology, it is the bioinformatics. Like that, there can be several combinations. Think of that. It is not that. So information technology and biotechnology, all these things will be of common. They will be finding everything. Your platter will be now a mixed platter of disciplines. Biology students will be studying mathematics. Mathematics students would be more interested, or even as a biologist, you may be interested in artificial intelligence. What is that artificial intelligence? You will be, you need to study with biology also, the information technology. Think that future is not going to be that what it is today. What the COVID is talking about, it's talking about the biotechnology. It is talking about the future microbiology. And then the combinations. You need tools also. When your engineering will come, there will be biomechanics, there will be bioelectronics. Why not? Who will make the cheaper ventilators? So those engineers will do for it. So who says that you can't biology and mathematics and there's a non-medical subjects, physics, chemistry cannot go hand in hand. So future is of collaboration, partnership between the sciences, and you are the best person to choose your career. I wanted to be a teacher. Yes, I became a teacher. I became a scientist. Then I entered into administration. I reached at the peak, became the vice chancellor. Everybody wants to become the doctor. Softy is Padma Shri. देखिए कितने बड़े आदमी इसको बुलाया हमने आपके लिए. He is a Padma Shri and speaking to you with his own experiences. He has been vice chancellor at 3 universities. So such a great person was addressing you. Now coming back to, okay, my time is limited. I come to Shulli University. देखो भाई Shulli University तो एक retired professor का बेबी है. वो weak तो नहीं हो सकता. Why at the age of 80 I am sitting here and talking to you? So my mission is, पहले दिन ही हमने सोचा था, we will be among the 200 global universities by 2022. That was 2010. 12 years. Our journey is coming. We got ourselves assessed very recently from an American company and we paid 15 lakhs. Where do we stand in the global market? So they have given us this page, that page is before me, that if Shulli University is competing on data of 2018-19, that it could have been 401 to 500 global universities. This is the Times Higher Education ranking. 401 से 500 में होंगे. आज उस लेवल पे आपकी सिर्फ 4 यूनिवर्सिटीज है. एंड इन इंडिया उसी पे लिखा हुआ लास्ट लाइन, विद इन इंडिया you ranked 4th joint out of 57 institutions. They are Shulli University की reputation. I'm not exaggerating it. This paper I have spent 50 lakh rupees this university to assess it. But then again the question is, you may ask कि यार आप डॉक्टर साहब 401 की बात कर रहे हो, इंडिया में तो 101 और 150 में हो अभी तक. वो भी मैं कारण बताता हूँ. In India we believe in quantity, we do not believe in quality. And in foreign, the size of the university does not matter. In India, the size of the university matter. वो जिसके पेपर ज्यादा होंगे उसको ज्यादा नंबर मिलेंगे. जब हमारे पास टीचर भी have only 225 teachers, how can I compete with Punjab University in NIRF ranking, which we call as the Government of India ranking? So we are competing. We will like to love to be among 100. हमने तो अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी में, मैं एक लास्ट स्लाइड दिखाऊंगा before I stop, कि हमारा रिसर्च डाटा आज हिंदुस्तान की टॉप यूनिवर्सिटियों से डबल है. मैं तो कहता हूं कि अगर किसी ने साइंस पढ़नी है, चाहे केमिस्ट्री, चाहे फिजिक्स, चाहे ऑनर्स, बायोटेक्नोलॉजी, माइक्रोबायोलॉजी, फूड टेक्नोलॉजी, व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू स्टडी, वी हैव एवरीथिंग इन आवर प्लेटर. तो क्या बनना क्या चाहते हो वही बनोगे. अगर आपकी इच्छा होगी, उसकी स्ट्रेंथ के ऊपर हमारे हम बीटेक में रिसर्च करवाते हैं. इसका तो which book it is written a graduate student cannot do research. हम प्रॉपर जो स्टूडेंट होते हैं बीटेक के, जो 4 years प्रोग्राम होता है, we give them the research problem. So we ensure that they publish 1 or 2 research papers. On the strength of that, they get admission in the top global universities, whether the Harvard, Stanford, and that, or Oxford. That is our wish कि हमारा स्टूडेंट अपने strength पे. What is strength in research? Your publication. Just I told you that to Dr. Parmar, I showed that book. उसने कहा, Dr. Khosla, मुझे पता तुम कुछ ना कुछ जिंदगी में करोगे. That was 1975. किताब में लगा हुआ था डॉक्टर खुशला. बात क्या थी? The author of the book was my PhD examiner. That was just a coincidence, and he utilized my tables and mentioned in the book. वो कल को, when I am now grandchildren, I will leave this earth, then there will be my great grandchildren. 100 साल के बाद कहेगा यार हमारा बाप तो प्रोफेसर होता था, हमारा grandfather है, उसने तो रिसर्च पेपर लिखे हुए हैं. That happiness will come from science. No other discipline, no other job can give you, I can challenge. मैंने तो enjoy किया अपने career को. जो मुझे मजा आता है कि मैं तो समझता हूँ that nothing like science. क्योंकि scientist तो परमात्मा के नजदीक है. You're near to God. You're just exploring and researching what He has created for you, and you are helping Him. And then incidentally some great things may also come. So मैं अब एक slide दिखाकर आपको क्लोज करता हूं क्योंकि आपके क्वेश्चन असली हमारा एजेंडा तो ये है आज का.
Are you able to share your screen? Are you also struggling? Ah, aa gaya.
We in 2022 we will be submitting our application for Times Higher Education. That there are 3 global ranking systems. I'm not talking about the Indian. I'm only talking about this is the chart where 30 marks are allocated for citation research. I am very proud to tell in this table, on the basis of this table, of the data of 1819, when we were quite behind, now it has improved, further improved. We got in that assessment, we got 38.8 marks. And out of that, we got 26 marks on the basis of this table that Dr. Sopti knows. This we call as the citational data. First is the field weighted citation impact. 2.2. Top Indian 10 university average is 0.98. Overall will mean all institutions, universities, IITs, engineering colleges, medical colleges, pharma colleges are clubbed together, then the average goes to 1.08. Then the top world is 2.16. Now we'll go to the second point, citation per publication. This is very important. एक paper को average, how many people have cited your paper? That is the strength of the research in the scientific world. हमारी university is 8.7, Indian average is 3.4, Indian overall is 4.2, and then top global is 9. उसके बाद then papers published in what type of journal? They have graded into 2 categories, 10% most cited journals and 1% most cited journal. हमारे students तो teachers तो students आते करते हैं. हमारा 35.7 है. अब ग्लोबल से भी आगे हैं 27 ना ग्लोबल की एवरेज. हमारा 1% लेवल, ग्लोबल एवरेज इज 4.9. हम ऐसी रिसर्च करवाते हैं, ऐसे पेपर लिखवाते हैं अपने टीचर से. मैं गारंटी करता हूं जिस बच्चे के पास भी 2 पेपर है, 2 papers he gets from Schuling University after the graduation, or 2 or 3 for our master. Any international university will give them the scholarship to have that. And that is the capacity and the importance and the contribution of the Schuling University. Now the next point is the international collaboration. How many foreign authors are in your publications? वो तभी आएंगे
I
भाई.
will request you, we need to take some questions and answers also.
Okay,
So
23.9. Next. Just now I've told you what I wanted to see, tell. The Indian university की comparison है. इस side पे the best top universities are there, and this is the data. So आप compare कर लो, और I would say it's not that we are at the helm, I am at the helm of affairs, my colleagues are at the helm of affairs. We are talking on the data. Our data is double than the India's best university. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khosla, for your very, very enlightening views. I think we're all excited. I so wish I had decided to be a scientist and not an engineer, which I ended up becoming. But I think I can't unwind my life. Thanks to teachers like Dr. Sopti and you, I think India is a much nicer place. So there's some questions over here. I think I'll ask each one of you. There's one question which is being asked, can I do an LLB after science? I think the answer is yes, you can definitely do an LLB after science. In fact, in today's world with patents coming in, you can actually build a career in patenting and legal careers in that. I don't know whether Dr. Sopti, you want to pick that up, because science and legal is very counterintuitive, but in today's world, it's actually converging. What do you think, sir?
No, I'm not for the question. What is the question?
The question is, can I do LLB after science?
Why not? Why not? Because it's integrated education now. You will be able to do better with your own area if you know laws. It's a special biotechnology. For biotechnology, you require a knowledge of communication, knowledge of law, knowledge of sociology, philosophy. So it's integrated education nowadays. And you can empower yourself for tackling various situations, challenges for that. So one can do that way. There's no bar. That's what a charge-based credit system means, that you can do anything what you want to do along with your time.
So there's a question on microbiology. So what Anusha is asking, what is microbiology and where can I do microbiology? So
See,
I'll request,
microbiology, in fact, is which deals with micro. It's an integral part of the life sciences, basically. You know, there are various institutes which are given. See, all the universities almost, your Himachal has this one, Punjab University. Even I think your university
Shulli
is
has
having
also. Shulli is
microbiology.
also
If
given.
I'm not wrong, you are teaching microbiology.
Yeah. We have BSc Honors Microbiology, MSc and PhD.
And there's no place better than Shulli University to do microbiology because you are living in a nearby microbial world over there. Of course, you are a microbial world, but microbial world is a part of that one. So that's one of the best universities.
This corona is COVID-19 is a microbe. My wife asked me, is it living or non-living? It's a difficult answer. Like, oh, ma'am, it is both living and non-living. Because one function it is doing, the function is procreation. Once it gets the host, it starts multiplying. That's the first property of the living. The living things have to reproduce, produce of their own time. And
But it cannot.
non-living,
It needs some host to.
yeah, it needs some host. Okay, fine. That is why we say
That's
non-living.
But one thing has changed. I am surprised. It was when we were studying viruses, we were told that viruses cannot survive outside the body. But this is surviving everywhere now.
So these are the challenges. COVID-19 researches will continue. If you come to microbiology, I think we know that 100 years back also we had the some influenza was there when the people were having the mask as we are having today.
There have
I'm going to interrupt over here.
there
Sorry.
were so many pandemics, and COVID-19 has now CCMP has detected 308 clades, and how many more are there? It's a modifying, it's mutating very fast.
Very
That's the
fast.
problem. So research will continue. You may have another COVID-20 from 19 itself. Then January 2020, January like that, it may go on. We have to survive, we have to live with it. And we have to change our lifestyle.
I would like to pick up a question from Ankuj. Ankuj is asking, saying, tell me more about medical science and Shulini. So I'm going to probably play a small video on Shulini if you allow me, Dr. Sopti. I'll share this and hopefully all of you will like a bunch of pictures where I'm, you know, it's beautiful out here right now and I made a small video. So just a small 1-minute video.
Good. Thank you very much.
You, I just wanted to make all of you jealous, all of you guys in Chandigarh. You know, we have such a beautiful place right now over here. There's one question that Ankush is asking, Dr. Sopti. He's asking how many fields are there in medical sciences? I think it's infinite, but I'll let the expert like you answer.
You are, see, there's specialties, super specialties, and super specialties. You cannot number them now.
Absolutely.
It's difficult to number them.
So
Yeah.
Anusha is asking, can I do microbiology from Shulani? Absolutely, Anusha, you can. I have written down my website. So go to the website and fill in your details. There will be a small exam and an interview. And if you pass, you'll get admission. So reach out to our counselors. Please do that, Anusha, and anyone else. So it's www.shulaniuniversity.com. I will again put it on the comment side. There's one question on what is artificial intelligence, and probably I will be the best to answer that, being the technocrat amongst all of you. But I'll have a microbiologist and a biotechnologist also answer that, Dr. Sopti, in a second. So we all have intelligence, students. We have brain, we have the ability to analyze, we have the ability to create, and we have the ability to learn. And that's exactly what artificial intelligence is. So our traditional computers can't learn. They can only perform a certain set of routines. If you can make the computer learn, you can make the computer do activities which are beyond what she's been taught, which means every time they do something beyond what was taught, that is artificial intelligence. Iska jo starting point tha, actually bada interesting tha. There were some scientists of MIT jo cats ko dekhna chahte the. They wanted to evaluate cats. They wanted to identify cats in a video. So they created some algorithms to say that agar cat ko top se dekhoge aisa dikhega, side se dekhoge aisa dikhega, upar se dekhoge, niche se dekhoge. And they were still got stuck because how many permutation combinations can you have? And then someone came up with the idea of artificial intelligence, saying that if the computer learns after showing 10, 12 times, kisi bhi direction se dikhao, they'll be able to identify a cat. And that's where artificial intelligence started. Today, your face recognition that you have, अपना computer दिखाते हो, phone दिखाते हो, it recognizes you. That's artificial intelligence. Speech to text is artificial intelligence. Lots and lots of other fields are coming in. जब आप Google में type करते हो, पूरा question भी type नहीं करना पड़ता, उसको पहले पता चल जाता है कि आप क्या पूछ रहे हो. That's artificial intelligence. So it's a great field. And like what Dr. Sopti said, artificial intelligence and biology is converging. In fact, the next future of the world is going to be bringing artificial intelligence into the human genome. So they're trying to understand the human genome. I don't know much about it, but Dr. Sopti can speak a little more about artificial intelligence.
You already said it. You already said it.
Was that good, sir? Will I get pass marks?
See, in 3D printing, what is there? The computer is given an instruction that you have to make a liver. So it performs, it makes the cells together and all those. Or what is the platform tissue? That's the way. The chip is given a direction and it performs accordingly. How many cells have to go in, how many not to go. So that's what artificial intelligence is. You have rightly said it.
Thank you, sir. आपने मुझे पास कर दिया, sir.
बहुत.
Okay, there's a question which says, do we have architecture at Shulani? No, we do not have architecture, but we have civil engineering, and we do bring in a lot of design into our teaching. We believe design is the future of the way you should learn. So design is embedded in science, design is embedded in engineering, design is embedded in other programs that you do. We also have a very flexible curriculum, which means you could be doing engineering but still be specializing in music, or vice versa. You could be doing a degree in English and do a minor in biotechnology. You can do that. So lots and lots of options nowadays. I so wish I had those options when I was studying, because I only had to do engineering students. So yes, you can study whatever you want. There's a question on nursing. So Vanshika is saying, I want to do nursing. Dr. Khosla, you want to comment on that? How is nursing as a career?
Nursing as a career, again, it will be prosperous and job-oriented. Opportunities will always be there. I can only add, it's not a career that you study, you won't get the job. As it has that these diseases are there. So the nurses will be required, and more prosperity, the more problems, the more issues, and obviously somebody is to take care of the patients. So medical sciences, healthcare is going to be very, very important.
And there are lots of very good nursing colleges in North India, so you can pick up a good nursing college.
We don't have actually.
We don't have that, right? Opportunities in astrophysics, career options in astrophysics. Dr. Sopti, आप बताइए astrophysics के क्या career options है? क्या पढ़े बच्चा astrophysics करने के लिए?
I can't tell much about this.
So I'll pick it up. I think you should do a degree in physics to start with. आप undergrad physics कीजिए, BSc honors physics कीजिए, and if you still continue to be interested in astrophysics, there are lots of very good astrophysics universities. TIFR has a very good, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research has a very, very good astrophysics program. So you can do that. Typically, people who do astrophysics will become scientists. So they will work in science after doing an astrophysics degree. But typically, you'll specialize in your masters and in your PhD for astrophysics. It's an interesting thing. I did want to do astrophysics, but I somehow became an aerospace engineer. I think that's what life takes you. What did you want to become, Dr. Sopti, when you started as a child? What was your dream?
My dream was to become a doctor.
Okay, your dream, and you became.
But then I started teaching doctors at the end of my career.
Absolutely. But did you
never
ever
know?
मतलब being vice chancellor of Punjab University is such a big thing. जब आपने career शुरू किया, did you ever think that you will become vice chancellor?
No, never. I was just thinking I may become a head of the department, which I never became. I never became head of the zoology department because I was shifted to biotechnology.
So lovely, so lovely.
So
I think what happened with Dr. Khosla also, he wanted to be Dean of Forestry. He could never become Dean of Forestry. He straight away became Vice Chancellor. So
it happens, you never know. Achha, then after, once the Vice Punjab was finished, I could never imagine that I'll get a second Vice Chancellorship.
that's right,
You never
absolutely.
knew.
You went to Lucknow for that.
Yeah. Then after that, I went to Bihar. I could never think of that I will call that Bihar.
Okay, okay, lovely.
So that's it. You never know. You keep on doing your job and do it.
I believe that our life is written in the astral world when we come back and we bring our destiny along with us. But then there are the desires we change here and there. But if I was to become the Vice Chancellor, it was also destined. And if I was to start this university instrumental in being the founder of the university, it was also. Then all those things, all your activities were nature was taking towards this direction.
Yeah.
Sometimes the punishments in your life, they also take towards your goal. I was punished as a Vice Chancellor by the court in some admission case. But then I got the chance to convince the Chief Minister. Otherwise, I could not have gone to him. That made me the advisor in return. Okay, so never feel distressed, even in your wherever things are not happening to your satisfaction. Whatever happens in future, it can become a bliss.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khosla. I think we're coming to an end of time. It's 4:37. We're 7 minutes over. This is such an amazing discussion that it can keep continuing. But unfortunately, I think Zoom has got a limit on time, and in 3 minutes, they will throw us out. So we have to close the discussion. I will say thank you very much, students. Thank you, teachers. What a beautiful discussion it's been. I've learned a lot. My last thoughts are going to be, don't be disappointed with what's happening around. Corona will not stay.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. When you're choosing students, you're choosing what you want to study. I would say the university matters more than the course. So choose a good university. Happy to take you through Shulini. We work very hard to make Shulini a great university. So choose the right university. Learn from experts like Dr. Sopti. He comes very often to Shulini and teaches and takes lectures. Now that online is there, we'll get more and more of you, sir. It is so much easier.
I can take your classes.
Absolutely, you'll take classes, and you are on mute, Dr. Khosla. So thank you very, very much, everyone. We are truly, I think, honored, Dr. Sopti, aap aaye. I know people have to take big appointments for months to get your time, but you have a special soft corner for Shulini. So thank you so much for that. And thank you, Dr. Khoslab, always inspiration. And I think Anusha has been very active. She's a student of 12th, it looks like. And she's been very active in the discussion. So Anusha, thank you very much. Be active like this. And thank you all the students. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye.